What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you so much for tuning in. It's me, Mikey Pipes, with Gigi and Stoli. I think you guys are going to really like this video. I got a new residential client. Was there once before. I tightened up the packing nut on a steam radiator angle valve. Didn't even charge him nothing. I was in and out of the house in 5-10 minutes. He's got a problem with his steam boiler for his home. We got multiple things going on with this boiler, but I think you guys will really appreciate this video because I got a nice long interaction with the homeowner on what he needs to do on a monthly basis to properly maintain his boiler as an owner of a home with a steam heating system. Check out this video, guys. Make sure you smash that thumbs up button and consider subscribing. There's no cost or obligation. Hello again.
Good morning.
How are you?
How you doing, Mike?
I'm good. I don't know, company policy.
Okay.
When the guys catch me not doing it,
You're in
I'll
trouble.
get ripped a new one.
How you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Tell me what's going on.
All right. I haven't been able to get this to go over 68, and now it goes to 70. Something just, it will not stop it.
What's the matter, puppy?
Shush.
That thermostat is very, very suspect.
Something just happened. How the hell does this come off again?
Brute force.
In the bottom.
So the batteries have no. This being on the wall has nothing to do with this operating or not. So now it's on. And it like hooks right into there.
It's working.
All right, 80. Let's see what it's doing with the boiler. All right, Weil McLain EGPG, gas-fired steam boiler. It's a big boy. It's a big boy. I hate it when they don't punch what model it is. Yeah, just like the hidden CP number, which is nowhere to be found. Pressure gauge, far from accurate. There's no way that's 6 PSI. 15 PSI relief valve. Yep. She's boiling water. She's not clean either. And she's been spitting out something before. Look at all that rust on the side of this boiler. Well, it's not every day where you see a properly installed steam boiler. So here is the 2.5-inch steam main coming up. They come across and then back with 2 T's. This is 2.5 by 2-inch steam T's picking up the 2 steam mains, one going that way to the front and one going that way to the back. It continues on and it reduces down with this 2.5 by 2-inch reducing elbow, and this becomes our equalizer because the pressure leaving and the pressure coming back on a steam system need to be the same. So you could size this one pipe size smaller. It's best to continue with the same size, but they went down with 2-inch with a 45, a short shoulder nipple there. Came down a union. We have a Hartford loop T there going to 1-inch copper. She's running. Not filthy, but we have a lot of dirt, dust across everything. She's running. Look at that old 75, nope, 50-gallon gas-fired water heater. Oof. look at that the wrong way. So we have a lot of, look at this. Dust and lint everywhere. Is our dryer vent connected? Nope, it sure ain't. Look at that. We got a separation right there. And it goes to there. And then it disappears. Oh, it's not good. It's a big fire hazard. I think we just got a bad thermostat. That's my opinion. It's funny how I just tapped on the pressure control and it turned off, right? Let's see, what time is it? Yeah. Let's do some maintenance on this bad boy. I would recommend, and again, I know you like your thermostat. I like, it was doing something funky before, but when's the last time there was maintenance done on the boiler?
I don't know.
Okay. How long you lived here?
27 years.
Okay. Well, if you said a year or two, then okay, I don't know is a good answer. But if you've been here for 20-something years and you don't know the last time the boiler was serviced, it may be time to do a tune-up on the heating system.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Again, did you see the water level? Was it low?
The water level's fine.
Okay, because
I'm more my biggest concern with downstairs is the amount of lint you have everywhere on the walls and on the thing. It looks like the dryer vent is disconnected behind the dryer.
It is.
Yeah, that's a big fire hazard.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's everywhere, and that stuff will go up like a matched what's it called, a matchstick house? No, like a house of cards. No, it's called. Oh, what's the phrase goes?
Like a tinder box.
Yeah, something like that. Imagine a house made of like matchsticks. Yeah, matchstick house. It will literally go up in flames. Like, it's everywhere. Even on the inside of the boiler, on top of like the gas control valve. You should have a tune-up done on that.
Okay.
I could do a basic, tune-up now and cleaning. It's about an hour of labor all in. So with your trip charge is $340 for the first hour.
That's fine.
I'll take out like the pigtail and clean that and vacuum out much as I could. But listen, if you like the thermostat, I'm not going to be the one to pry it from your hands. But
I should think about replacing it.
you should think about replacing it. Because it's very suspect, but now it's behaving, so go figure.
It usually does. I mean, and I know exactly when the batteries are dead.
Yeah. All right. The thermostat is still calling. I already went to the truck and I got the vacuum, my combustion analyzer, tool bag, and the unit's still not running. And I know there's not 5 psi of pressure in there. There's nothing in there, actually. It won't open up the relief valve. I was going to use my 1/4-inch driver to loosen up that screw, but it looks like someone already beat me to it. Let's jump out our connection at the pressure troll. So, pressure troll is preventing operation of the boiler. Let's kill power. Let's get a Phillips screwdriver and loosen up these terminal posts, remove the wires, spin this off, and check out our pigtail. It's a black pigtail, so it's probably clogged, but it's been scratched many times. Now, I'm not too concerned about getting blasted with steam here because there's no pressure in the boiler, but you still want to exercise caution. Nope, she's not being cooperative. Oh man. She is not being cooperative at all. Let's give a little extra on it. Wow. It's like Hulk Hogan put this thing on here, huh? Or Arnold Schwarzenegger. All right. Probably gonna get some water dripping out of there, yep. Let's take off this tee. We're gonna have to replace this pigtail. I can tell you that right now. We're gonna replace the pigtail. I'm probably gonna end up replacing the let's see. Get this out of the way. Come on. Get out of my way. And I thought it was a black pigtail. It's actually brass. And that's clear. But you know, this is clogged. Yep, she's clogged. Let's get another angle pigtail. And maybe a T and a nipple, and then a new. Well, now the pressure gauge is normal. Pressure gauge is now normal. That makes sense. Pigtail is now gone, and there's no pressure for it to read, just atmospheric pressure. It's actually reading 1 psi. It's not on the needle. Pressure gauge, pigtail, T, nipple. All right, went to the truck, and I'm just as guilty as some of my guys, and if I don't write it down, it doesn't get replaced. So this pigtail, that'll work. I'll put the T on here, and then I'm going to use a long nipple, and hopefully I'll clear the pressure troll. I don't wait. I'm not going to hit the left cover of the boiler. So let me throw some Teflon tape on what I'm going to use and put this together, and remember to write down what I used here. That way I can replenish it when I get back to the shop. Otherwise, like this morning, I needed a circulator and I didn't write it down, and I had no circulator in the truck, and I had to have the runner from my office bring it to me. Gotta write it down, guys. Okay. That's clear. And if it wasn't clear, I would take the rod from the sight glass and just clean that out. But it's clear. Okay. Beautiful. Come on, there you go. Make sure my wire's long enough to accommodate the higher nipple on the pressure troll. Let's spin this on. There you go. Beautiful. Okay, let's tighten that up. Okay, beautiful. All right, I took the vacuum to everything, cleaned everything up as best as I could, given the circumstances. There's our new pressure gauge, the pigtail, the T, the nipple, existing pressure troll. Cleaned up the left jacket as best I could for all the rust that was there. Under the front hood, cleaned up there as well. I have many videos on this stuff. I'm not going to be redundant, but I know you guys like to see before and afters, and I think it looks much better than it did before, for sure. I got a problem, though. Listen to this. Wait for it, because it's coming. Be patient. Keep waiting for it. There you go. I got that annoying sound. It's driving me crazy because it wasn't making that sound before. And it's not interfering with, or is it? What the hell? I got a bit low on a cutoff too. That sucks. All right, it's combustion analysis time. Oof. That don't look too healthy. We have 340. 5 stack temperature and climbing, 7.5% of O2, 28 parts per million of carbon monoxide, gross efficiency of a little under 83%, residing at 82.9%. Let's go to CO2 at 7.57. So we're all within normal parameters. That's still climbing, but I don't think it's going to go that much higher, maybe in the low 4s at the end of the day, but I'm quite happy with those results. All right, our draft is good with negative pressure. Let's clipboard those results. And now let's print the results. Beautiful. All right, I used a U-line shipping baggie to insert the combustion test results on the front cover of the boiler. I have been making it a habit over the last 20 years to cover up other contractor stickers, but I got nothing bad about him to say. And let's just say that there's a reason why I'm sitting right here next to him. There you go. This QR code, if you scan it in with a smart device like a tablet or phone with your camera app, it'll bring you right to our landing page on pipedoc.net, and you can book an appointment using our app, House Call Pro. House Call Pro is the app that Pipe Doctor Home Services uses as our CRM. It does our dispatching, invoicing, inventory, payment receiving, everything, time on job, travel to job, keeps track of everything. It can also do payroll. It sends SMS messages to the end user when we're on the way, when the job is complete. It even asks them for a review. Check out the House Call Pro app if you are a contractor, any kind of service tech professional that still using paper and pen. Get with the times. It's 2024. Sorry, it's 2025. Get with the times. It's 2025. My company, Pipe Doctor, has been paperless since late 2012, and we've outgrew the previous app, which was great. It was Service Pal. It's great for 1, 2, 3 trucks. But if you're going to scale your business and expand, you need a great CRM that's not going to get to bed with you and could lead to a nasty divorce, like Service Titan and some others as well. So my company uses House Call Pro for simplicity, and it's a really affordable program. check it out, housecoldpro.com. There's a link in the description box down below. And if you live in the Long Island, New York City metropolitan area and you're tired of getting bamboozled by your HVAC contractor, scan that QR code. Scan that QR code right there. It'll bring you right to our landing page. You can book an appointment with me or anyone on my team. Would love to help you. All right, let's do a final checkout on this service call. We got our combustion analysis done. We have our sticker on it. We have our service tag. Today's date, what we did, pigtail, the gauge, the low water cutoff, and a general cleaning and a CO test. My initials on there. We got a valve tag on the boiler feed valve, water heater feed valve, gas water heater valve, gas boiler valve, and everything is generally clean. We're going to take some pictures of the combustion analysis printout, a general picture of everything here, a picture of the parts that we changed, and attach that to today's service call in House Call Pro. And as I was taking the pictures of everything, I realized that I didn't drain the boiler to test the newly installed low water cutoff, so now we're draining. All right, and there she is, sensing a low water condition. Beautiful. All right, let's refill the boiler, make sure it turns off, and we are good to go. It wouldn't hurt to drain this a couple times either. Man, that's filthy. Damn, that's filthy. Yeah, I just went to the wrong valve. Pop quiz, ladies and gentlemen. What temperature does water boil at? 212 degrees, right? You think dirty water also boils at 212 degrees, or are you going to require more energy? In this case, it's natural gas to boil that water because it's filthy. The second most important reason for making sure this stays clean, to save money. First important reason, to make sure this is functional. You want to test this once a month during the heating season by draining some water out of the boiler and make sure that light comes on. They must have recently changed this because it's saying test the low water cutoff annually or more frequently. I would say it should be tested once a month. That's my professional opinion. Remove and inspect the self-cleaning probe every 5 years. Replace the probe every 10. And replace the low water cutoff control box every 15. Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. The McDonald Miller PSC 802-24. Show you what I did. The boiler is noticeably cleaner now.
Yeah, you can say that again.
This device here, this gray box, is called the pressure troll. It controls pressure. It is the only real safety device on this boiler that will prevent the boiler from blowing up other than the relief valve. Okay. Its job is to control pressure. Even in a skyscraper, you need about a half a pound of pressure to heat the building. Same applies in your home, half a pound of pressure. Okay. And it's set to 2 PSI, which most are, but it's an older system. I'm not playing with it. The lower the better, but nonetheless, this, when I first got here, when I tapped on it, it turned the boiler off.
That's bizarre.
Yes, to the layman person, but that tells me that it's either staying closed when it shouldn't be or staying open and not allowing the boiler to run when it's supposed to be. The pigtail, which is this loopy looking pipe, hence the name pig's tail, it protects the gauge and the pressure troll from that latent heat or that boiling hot heat that's in there. So it preserves it and it creates a trap here actually.
Gotcha.
So you have a new gauge because it was not reading accurately, and everything from there to the pressure troll is new.
Yes.
And it works. That black box with the green light is called the low water cutoff. Its job is to sense a low water condition and prevent the boiler from running. I've tested it, the new one, and it works. Okay. You know, when I lower the water level down, after a moment or two, that red light starts to flash. It senses the low water condition, and that turns the boiler off, and that gives you an instruction to open this and fill it back to where it should be. So
it's the same though when
it's like that.
Right. Yep.
But the main reason why I'm bringing you...
Will the red, when it goes low, right? I get a red light.
Yes.
And then I give it this till it goes green.
Yes. We're back to where it should be.
Yeah.
Halfway or 3/4 up the side class. Right. But the main reason why I brought you down here, forget it to show off how well I cleaned the boiler.
It looks beautiful.
But I needed to show you the quality of the water inside that sight glass. It is not clear. It is dirty.
I noticed that. It was rusty.
Yes, I already dumped that bucket 4 times. Okay. Let me ask you a pop quiz. Right?
Shoot.
What temperature does water boil at?
I think it's about 145.
Okay, you're close. It's up 212.
212
Fahrenheit. Yes, 100 degrees Celsius.
Okay.
Yes. So
Well,
you
that's
have
Fahrenheit,
yes. So you have a steam boiler, right? So it has to boil water to create steam. Do you think that dirty water that's filled with iron and steel fragments will also boil at 212 degrees?
Probably take a bit more.
A bit more. And the bit more is out for debate. I really have no idea. But I do know that clean water at sea level, right? We're at sea level. We're like 20 feet above sea level.
Right.
But whatever. Clean water will boil at 212 degrees, right? At
Dirty
this
water, anybody's guess.
Correct. Anyone's guess. And I have yet to figure out what temperature it is. But I can tell you this. If you keep that water clean, you will have a lower gas bill to heat this home.
Not to mention, I probably won't need as much water, right? Because it's all.
That's out for debate. I don't know about that. Yeah. However, in a perfect world, and in most steam homes, where as long as the steam is not escaping, you'll need to replenish that lost water, once a month.
Okay.
I don't know how often you're losing water, how often you're adding water.
Every few days.
Okay. Well, you think about where that water is going.
Yeah.
Now,
of course.
if the radiators, those little silver things on each radiator, we call the air valves, if they continuously hiss, they shouldn't hiss anymore, by the way. And if they do, there's a problem. You need to fix that. But those steam air valves, that's what they are, air valves on each radiator, if they continuously hiss, that is steam escaping the system. You'll have a nice and humid house, which would be nice, but you're killing your boiler because you have to replenish the water that this thing needs.
Water. Right?
Huh?
With cold water as well, right?
Well, it takes hot water here, the way it's piped
okay.
in, but the adding of fresh oxygenated water, which is what it is, when you add more water, it's brand new fresh water, right? Will cut a hole in the boiler. And when the boiler's running, I think we went outside last time I was here, make sure there's no steam coming out of the top of it. Yes. Yeah. So when you see white smoke in a steam home at the top of the chimney, they got a dead boiler, and they're gonna need to replace it. So you never want to see white smoke coming out of your chimney. No. And if you do, just have a drink, sit down, and then we'll figure out the game plan to replace it. But keep the water clean. Okay, 2 reasons. Number one, you're going to make sure that light comes on, the red light starts to flash on the low water cutoff, and you're going to keep that water clean.
Okay.
I could literally hook up a pump system to this and spend hours here trying to do this, and it'll still not be clean. This may take a long time, but as cleaner you can make that, the better.
So
it may never be.
Continue to take the water out.
I would keep draining it till it's completely empty. If you want, turn the boiler off. Maybe on a warmer day, do this, and just drain it and then dump it, and then fill it back up, drain it and dump it, and but I wouldn't do it more than like 10, 15 times. You just want to get the crud and the crap out of the bottom of the boiler.
Sediment.
And if you get rid of that, it'll be clearer. Some are crystal clear. Surprising. Some are. It's shocking that some are. One I went to yesterday in South Ozone Park. The house was 1920 and the boiler's probably from 1960. It's an old Weil McLain gas boiler, and that water is crystal clear. I kid you not.
How?
It's just this. He drains it like.
He has drained it.
Yeah.
He drains it like nobody's business.
Correct.
Okay. All right. I didn't know I was supposed to drain.
Yeah, once a month.
All right. I can do that.
Excellent.
All
Any questions?
Let me ask you something.
Yes.
I have asked people this. How come there's not some way that the water can refill itself on the boiler?
Oh, there is a way. It's
Somebody told me there's an automatic switch, but it can be a disaster if something goes wrong.
They're smart. They're actually smart, believe it or not.
But how come it doesn't work that way with my water heater?
Okay, let's talk about that for a minute. Okay, you have a steam boiler,
right?
That you have a pot of water on your stove. Okay, and it has a lid on it, but it has a little hole on it, and that the lid is connected to your pipes.
Right. As
the water boils, it creates steam. Steam travels through the pipes, and it heats the radiators. But it doesn't. The steam vapor, the water vapor, does not leave the piping.
Right.
It shouldn't.
It's all in an encased system.
It's in an open system, but it's in a closed system at the same time. Right.
Right.
So when the system is off, there's air in the pipes. When the system is on,
The water's boiling, creates steam. Steam, the water expands 40,000 times. It fills all the pipes with steam, nice hot steam, traveling at 40 miles an hour through the piping. Heats your home, heats the radiators. But when the vapor cools back into water, it makes its way eventually to the boiler. Every time you hear a loud bang in your house, like someone took a hammer to your pipe,
I've heard it.
That is water violently exploding when steam hits it. So water is where it shouldn't be.
So it's in residual in the pipes.
Yeah, or where it shouldn't be. Sometimes you have water trapped, you have sagging pipes, it's an old home, right? 100-plus-year-old house, right? But you're not losing the steam, right? When you boil water in your stove, eventually it'll evaporate away, right? Because it's not connected to anything, right? But you're connected to pipes and radiators. So the water level will go back to where it was once the boiler cools off, everything cools off. So now the reason why the thing behind me, which is percolating like a coffee pot from the 1960s, right? That's which is all the calcium and sediment at the bottom of the tank, which is almost at the end of it. It's well past its life expectancy, by the way.
This thing?
Yes. Well past its life expectancy. All the sediment and calcium and minerals that are all at the bottom of the tank are boiling, right? Or popping when the heat is hitting it at the bottom of the water heater. You have a pipe that's constantly under pressure from an infinite source for cold water. Right? Agreed?
Agreed.
You have a pipe leaving, which is what we call domestic hot water pipe leaving, which is always under the same pressure. And if you open all the faucets in the house, you'll still have some pressure, volume there. It'll get less, but when you open up that hot water faucet, it's always pressurized, and eventually it'll get hot. Right? Because you have a storage vessel, which is what this is, a storage tank that's automatic, and it heats water to maintain a temperature, right? So as water goes in, as water leaves, water is instantly replacing it. So the second you open up a faucet, more water is going back in because the pressure doesn't change. If I were to close that cold water valve on top of the water heater, you'll have hot water for maybe 10, 15 seconds, and then nothing will come out of the faucet because there's no more pressure.
Okay.
Right? If I open that back up, same thing. This is a totally different animal, the water heater, because the boiler, that is, because you have a finite amount of water volume, which is the water level.
On the
right there.
Yeah.
And the only way to modify that is to take water out, to lower it, or to add more by opening the valve.
Right.
All right? Two totally different animals.
Okay.
Back to your question. The first part of the question was automatic valve, so you don't have to add water every so often. So they do make automatic water feed valves, right? And the same company that makes that low water cutoff, McDonald Miller, also makes a McDonald Miller automatic water feed. It's called a WFE 24, the model number. 24 because it uses a 24-volt system that this thing operates on. When the low water cutoff senses a low water condition, there's a period of a delay, usually a couple minutes, triggers the valve with power to open, and the valve is also smart that if it stays open for too long, it will turn itself off electronically.
Right.
Okay? And all it is an electric version of this.
Right.
However, how they become disasters is because, let's say, a piece of sediment, the best case scenario in a failure, a piece of sediment gets stuck in the valve as it's closing. Some water's still going to pass through it. If no one's home and you're gone for a vacation, for example, you will have a flooded house. Maybe an inch of water, maybe less, who knows, but you'll definitely have water coming out of the radiator, air valves on each radiator.
Joy.
Right? If it decides, like, you know what, I'm not going to close because I'm a mechanical device, I'm man-made, I'm subject to failure, and if this was left open, right, what would happen in 5 minutes from now?
Water would start coming out of
every possible orifice of this house.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
And of every single orifice of the house. So imagine that valve, or let's say, keeps open, and it doesn't close because it failed, because it's man-made, except to fail at any given time. You'll have a very nice insurance claim, a mess to clean up, but you get a brand new house out of the deal.
Jeez. I should consider it, maybe. So I imagine also if electricity goes out, that thing's no longer going to work, right? Because it's on a battery.
No, if electricity goes out, you have no heat anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. Because the type of system you have still needs a 110 volts to power a transformer, which powers everything with 24 volts, which is what this system operates. Unlike your water heater, right? That can run if there's no power in the house. Because it's independent, it creates its own power from the power of the pilot. It's called a millivolt system.
Okay.
So on some older, you can still get them. It's rare though. On some older steam systems, you'll have a millivolt system where you have a pilot. That's a regular pilot, but instead of having a pilot flame sensor known as a thermocouple sitting in that, it's a much fatter version. It's called a pilot generator. And this pilot generator generates between 350 millivolts and like 750 millivolts, which will power your thermostat, the safety circuit, and everything, which is the pressure control, the low water cutoff, not the vent damper because that's different, but your spill switch, your roll-offs, or things like that. So if you had no power, it would still power because it's getting power from the pilot. The same way this operates.
Right.
But you have you don't have a pilot generator. You have a thermocouple which is producing 19, 21, 22 millivolts of power, which is just keeping a magnetic valve open and closed as needed, and will power the main valve when it senses there's a low temperature in the tank.
Now, how come they don't make these the way they used to them with the milli?
There's a thing called the U.S. government,
Oh.
and in the early '80s and late '70s, when that oil embargo happened, and they needed to make everything more efficient, they got rid of things like that, and then they got rid of standing pilots, which is what yours has, to electronic ignition. Because they don't want you to waste $80 a year of gas to power a pilot, or even $40 a year to power a pilot.
Right.
They'd rather you replace a $500 control, which controls it electronically, than you waste $80 or $40 a year in gas. Even though that has a standing pilot, this has a standing pilot. That's what happens when the U.S. government gets involved in
anything.
In anything. Yeah.
All right. All right. Now I get it.
Makes sense?
I got it. Yeah. All right. This looks good, man.
Yeah.
I will continue to.
Yeah, and
What
I got my little sticker there. If you can scan that QR
Yeah.
code with your smartphone in your camera, and it'll bring you right to our website. You could book an appointment if you need be. The combustion test, we do a safety test every time we work on a heating system. It proves today that the boiler's burning properly. If it wasn't, we'd have a conversation about it. But those are the results of that safety test. It tests the oxygen, carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, efficiency, things like that. And it's all printed there, and we have a copy of it as well.
All right, terrific. So I should actually get, if I continue to do this, I should actually get more out of.
Yeah, more oomph.
Well, also a cheaper bill,
Yes,
potentially.
you should. You
Okay.
should, yeah.
In theory,
Yes,
anyway.
in theory. And if you really wanted to, like, if you had like a few extra bucks to spend, the insulation you have up here, if you get the thicker type, and you also insulate the piping you see exposed there,
That
you'll
wouldn't
cut it
be
down
bad.
a little bit. I know it'll cost you maybe $60, $80 to insulate this. You don't have to worry about the fittings, the elbows and stuff.
Right.
But just this section of pipe, that section of pipe, and the little pieces in there,
Yeah.
you literally spend $40, but you would get that back within a season or two. It's really,
Right.
you're losing heat at the source. As soon as it gets out, as
It's
soon as that
already-
steam travels out, it's already starting to lose its heat.
Right. It's
Because
it's in
this
room.
is significantly cooler than 212 degrees.
That's why it's warmer in this room.
Always.
Yeah. Well, not to mention, but the boiler's going at
Yeah.
the bottom, I guess.
Yep.
All right.
All right.
Very good.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you live in the Long Island, New York City metropolitan area and you're tired of getting bamboozled by your HVAC contractor, I want you to pick up the phone to experience the same exact quality that you saw me deliver during this service call for your own home or business. Pick up the phone and call me at 516-348-6300 or save time. Book online at pipedoc.net. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Smash that thumbs up button and consider subscribing. There's no cost or obligation to subscribe to this channel, and it's the best way that you, as part of the YouTube community, can support my channel. Thanks a lot, guys. Catch you in the next one. Be well. God bless. Stay safe.